taken, just be. Don't take it.
Hey gang, it's your girl Peach and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to have like a little story time about my son JC's condition. I did have somebody in my comments ask me about what was going on with my son, so I figured I'd do like a little story time, just letting you know what's going on with him and just little stuff like that. But first, I just want to say welcome to my channel. If you're new, thank you for clicking on my video and thank you for joining the family. If you're not new, hey y'all, welcome back. But no, it's hard for me to get this story time out because I've been sitting here for the past 20 minutes trying to push play and get this out, but I'm just gonna just say it and try not to cry while I'm doing it. But yeah, my son JCI is 5 years old and he suffers from something called aplastic adenoma, which are cancerous tumors that grow from his brainstem. Back in 2019 of October, my son JCI, he was complaining of headaches really bad. So I would take him like to the hospital and to the doctors, and they would just tell me like he had a head cold or he had ear infections and stuff like that. So, you know, being at their doctors, I took what they said and I'm like, okay, gave them the medicine they prescribed. But the headaches just continue to come and come and come. So I took him down to the hospital, and the hospital said the same thing, you know, could be a migraine, like a migraine or sinus cold and stuff like that, because all my kids and me all suffer from like sinuses problems and stuff like that. So I said, okay. So in December of 2019, I started to notice my son started to body start to shift to the right. So I'm looking like, you know, what's going on with my son? And this was after Christmas. So I'm like, something's not right. And in the beginning of January 9th, I took him down to the hospital. Well, no, let me stop. We woke up one day and I just noticed he couldn't stand, couldn't hold his head up. And I'm just like, something's not right. I have to take my son to the hospital. Like, something's not right. So I packed him up and I packed my other kids up and I took him down to the hospital. So we get to the hospital and I'm like, hey, I've been down here a couple times for my son. He's been complaining of headaches. Now he can barely hold his head up. And, you know, he's starting to shift to the right. So, you know, they administrate us and put us in the back. The doctor comes back. Oh, you know, he could be suffering from a cold, this, you know, just beat around the bush. So I'm like, look, I'm not leaving this hospital until you guys, you know, do a check on my son's head. He's screaming out, waking up in the middle of the night out his sleep, saying that his head is hurting him. So I'm like, something's not right. You guys need to, you know, check his brain. Oh, he's too young. He's not going to stand in the CAT scan. So me being a mother that I am, and also being 5 months pregnant, I told them, like, I'm not leaving this hospital until you guys do some type of exam on his brain because something's not right. So after me fussing and cussing, God forgive me for doing it, but after me fussing and cussing and making my point across, they ended up taking him in the back to get a CAT scan. Do the CAT scan. I'm sitting waiting for him to come out. They put us back in the room, and about 20 minutes later, the doctor comes in, and they go, Miss Handy, I'm sorry to inform you, but your son has a tumor. I couldn't even think after that. I'm like, tumor? Kind of find out his tumor was the size of a soda can, and at this time, my baby was only 3 years old. So imagine from here to back here. That's how big his tumor was. So they couldn't do nothing for him there. So then we're going to transfer you to Philadelphia, which is the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. I couldn't do nothing but cry. I damn near passed out. Like, 5 months pregnant, then finding out my son has a big tumor on his head that he has to get removed. So fast forward, they shipped us over to CHOP Hospital in Philadelphia. And they did another MRI on him to see exactly what's going on, because where I stayed, they only do CAT scan. So when we went to Philly, they did a whole MRI. Come to find out, he had, it was like 20 something milliliters of fluid present on his brain with a tumor. So that was another thing that sent me into an anxiety attack. I couldn't really work myself because at the time I was pregnant with my son Cartier, so I didn't want to harm him, being that I'm stressed out about my son. So, they took him in the back, did an emergency drain. They drained the fluid out of his head, and then they, drew the fluid out of his head, and then they put us in a room. And after that, they were talking to me, let me know we're going to have to do surgery to remove the tumor. He's going to have a scar on his head, this, that, and the third. So I'm like, okay, do what we got to do to get this removed from my son's head. So once we removed it, after he went into surgery, he was in surgery for about like 4 to 5 hours. After they removed it, they come back out, our baby comes out. And, I'm still scared and still nervous at the same time. Like, I never had to deal with anything like this, so I'm scared. We get into the room. They said the surgery went well. They got everything out that they, everything out. And they're just waiting for him to, wake up. And they had to test the tumor to see if it was cancerous. But then the next day, they pulled me in the hallway to let me know my son tumor was cancerous. So that means we have to go through radiation. Did not want to hear that at the point, like, time, it's like cancer. That's all I thought of was cancer. So, after being in the hospital for about like 3 weeks, we were in the hospital for almost 3 weeks, we end up going home. And then we had to, get ready to start radiation treatment. So we went home. I got the kids organized to stay with my sister, longer. And we ended up staying in Philadelphia for a month because he had to do treatment for 6 weeks. Yeah, 6 weeks. He had to do 34 treatments of radiation. At this time, I'm losing it. I'm really losing it. So we ended up going to CHOP, and we ended up going to the Ronald McDonald House. They put us in the Ronald McDonald House, and we ended up, doing the treatments there while we were up there. We stayed up there. Once his treatments was completed, everything was looking good. We ended up getting Make-A-Wish. We ended up going to Disney, and everything was looking good. Going to our 6 months 6 months MRI. Doing our 6 months MRI, and everything was looking good. No signs of, the tumors. Come a year later, fast forward a year later, he was doing his annual, MRI checkup. They seen fluid on his brain again. So they drained the fluid, and then they seen that he had a tumor coming, and they said, we're going to do another surgery. Whew. This is after I had Cartier. So I had Cartier, and then they found the tumor again. So we did the process all over again. Surgery, then radiation. And this time we tried chemotherapy also. It was like a pill he had to take. Tried chemotherapy also. Did that for the 6 weeks. Everything was good. Something happened to where he had to go back to the hospital. And at this time, they found one on his spine. See, with these tumors, if you don't remove them, they travel. They go from your brainstem to your spine, and they just travel within that. So, after removing, I'm trying to cry. Okay. After removing the one on his spine, we did the whole thing over again. Radiation and chemotherapy once again. And everything was going good. Once again, we started doing instead of the pill chemo, we ended up doing like an adult chemo. They were scared it was going to bother him, but JTI is so strong, it don't bother him. So, my son's a fighter. I just never thought I'd go through anything like this. But it's happening. And give him the best life as I can. So my cousin, they had a celebration of life party for him where they dressed up in superhero costumes. A lot of people showed up and brought him gifts and stuff. And he loved it. I'm gonna put a clip of some of the stuff they did and some pictures and stuff of, you know.
What the hell? You not gonna let man see?
His 5th birthday party, we went out. You guys see, if you look back in the clips of his birthday party, we gave him a superhero party. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. But I don't know if I'm going to post this. I don't know if I'm going to post this video or not, but I did get a request of, you know, just telling what's going on with him. Because I did start my channel off with him and what's going on with him. So, but yeah. He's 5. He's still fighting. We're still fighting. I have a great support system. My family, my best friend Shanae, her mom, my sisters, my mom. My mom and my sisters are my #1 supporters. My family, #1 supporters. This video might be a little choppy, a little all over the place, but I just want to get out what's going on with my son and answer the questions that, you know, somebody had asked me, so I figured I'd put it out there and let it be known. So, but like I said, we're still fighting. JTI's still fighting. He's not giving up. I'm not giving up. Nobody's giving up. The doctors say one thing, but God says another. So, hope you guys didn't cry. I didn't mean to make you cry. But, yeah. I have to finish packing for our trip to Florida in a couple hours. So, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for clicking on my video. Thank you for staying as long as you did. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to tell a friend and tell a friend. Come check out our channel. And all I ask for is just the prayers. All I ask for is prayers. Just pray for my son. Pray for my family. So I'm going to let you guys go because I got to finish packing like I said. And I got to get myself together. But thank you for rocking with your girl. Thank you for clicking on my video. Don't forget to stay positive. And see you guys in the next video. That'll be this Florida trip video. So, see you guys.
Taking just be